Okay, guys. Well, welcome to the post-Thanksgiving twist off. So we're going to start practice today. Good morning. On our bottoms. We're going to sit up nice and tall. And just come into your body, into your center space. Taking some slow, deep breaths in through your nose and let them out through your mouth. Starting that practice of unlocking your jaw if it's been a little tight. So this being the post-Thanksgiving super show, we're just going to try to come into a space of rest and digest, right? For some of us, the rest part, no problem. The digest part might be a little more tricky if you've eaten the amount of calories that I have. So the first order of business is to get some good fresh oxygen into the body. Just let your eyes close and your palms open. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Gently pulling that heart back over the belly, the star of the show today. Feeling the crown of your head reaching up to the sky. And your shoulder blades melting down the back as you exhale. Feeling your chest loosen up, letting the heart press forward gently. Let's give the elbows a little shake, just releasing any tension in the arms and shoulders as you breathe. Slow, deep ujjayi breaths, using that little constriction in your throat. In through your nose and out through your mouth softly. Letting your eyes relax. All of the little muscles around your eyes soften, your cheeks, and of course that space between your eyebrows. Most especially, let that soften and open up. Beautiful, coming in over your sit bones. And feeling that tall spine that doesn't feel forced. Starting your focus, your awareness into the belly. Let's bring the hands there. Sometimes that really kind of helps bring us in. And we're not going to judge. We're just going to love, love, love. Taking some deep breaths. Notice if your shoulders got a little crunched up when you brought your hands forward. See if you can release them back down. Let the elbows relax heavy. And fill your hands with your belly. Fill your belly with your breath. Easy, gentle. Slow, deep breaths. Notice where you feel your breath today. Is it easy to fill up your hands? Do you feel like you're really kind of having to think about it a little more? See if you can bring a little ease into that motion. Feeling your jaw unlock, your lips get soft. Good. Let's bring the hands up, roll the shoulders up, and let them melt down. Once again, giving those elbows a little shake, shake. And breathe. So we're still using the belly, we're still feeling the belly, but our concentration is here in the fingers around your ribs. Opening that umbrella. Just taking a moment to smell the rose and blow out the candle, so to speak. Experiencing your breath through the sides and through your back. Good. And let's bring the hands together in front of the heart. Give them a rub. It's a little chilly in my room. I know it feels good, creating a little heat. And let's open up the palms nice and wide, feeling a beautiful stretch through the thumbs. Peeling open that space around the heart, letting the heart peek through. Let's drop the chin into the heart and take a moment to set your intention for practice today. It could be to be here. It could be to digest. Just to breathe in camaraderie with your body and with other practitioners. Beautiful. Feeling that gentle stretch at the base of your neck. Good. And so from here, we're just going to release the hands together in front of the heart and bring the thumbs into the third eye, taking a very deep breath in, nice and tall. And exhale, arms come overhead, stretching those elbows straight if you can. Inhale, gently looking up. And exhale, we're going to turn to our left side. Let's drop the left arm behind, crossing that right arm in front. Getting some leverage against the knee, and we're going to take our first twist of the day. Up nice and tall. Try not to fold in over your heart with the shoulders staying nice and tall. Finding that axis point. Inhale, big belly. Exhale, pull the belly in and twist, using the shoulders, not the chin or the neck. Good. Feeling really tall with each inhalation. And deepening your twist with each exhalation. Notice if your neck got a little tight. Keep it soft and long. Beautiful. And gently coming back into your center space. Well done. Let's take those arms up overhead. Sweep them up. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, turning to your right side. Dropping the arms first, rolling the shoulders. And then taking your twist on your exhales. Nice tall spine. Crown of the head just gently reaching to the sky as the shoulder blades reach towards the floor. And starting to wake up your abdominal muscles to kind of help kind of squeeze and massage your belly in this breath. Oh yeah. Notice where you feel your twist today. Is it more in your belly? Is it more in your back? Kind of both. Good. One more deep breath in. Tall, tall, tall. Exhale, twist, twist, twist. Belly in and back into your center space. Awesome job. All right. So if you need to change the cross of your legs, if they're feeling a little numb, now's a good time. All right. Okay, so we're bringing the hands to the knees, and we're going to start that beautiful Kundalini warm up through the spine, the hips, the belly. So the crown of your head, you got a light, and you're just drawing a circle on the ceiling. Breathe. And of course, we're going to link and sync our breath this time with an inhale as we come back. Fill your belly. And exhale as you kind of move forward, keeping your sit bones planted and moving the heart around in a circle over, just kind of orbiting. Don't be afraid to use the strength of your arms and your hands. Just as long as that doesn't creep into your neck, we're good. So I had a student tell me recently that she experienced a little knee pain when we were doing these circles. So if that's the case, you can open up your legs And you can take these with a wide leg. Your circle will just be a little smaller. That's all. We don't want to tweak the knee. But if that's not you, stay in this cross-legged Sukhasana. And reverse, same breath. Exhaling forward, really pulling that belly button into the spine, and inhale back. Nice and slow, easy does it. Oh yeah. Ooh. I took a few days off of my yoga too. I'm creaking and popping. Oh boy. Okay, good. And gently coming back nice and tall into your center space. That heart, once again, is right over your belly, and your belly is pulled over your sit bones. Let's take a couple of shoulder rolls, keep your hands where they are on the knees, and really give a good shrug. I know a lot of people, this has been a weird Thanksgiving for a lot of folks. We have people that are still traveling. A lot of folks opted to drive. So this is always a good thing to do if you've been driving. And reverse. Big circles into your shoulders. Okay, last little bit of business from Sukhasana. We're going to bring the arms overhead, nice and tall. And we're just going to fold forward over those knees and bringing the hands to the floor. And do your best to keep your spine nice and straight. You're going to want to round out the back, right? So trying to keep your spine straight and trying your best to keep the belly nice and full of breath. My ghost came in. And just walk yourself forward over those hips and just take a gentle breath. This is a really gentle hip opener. Breathe. One more step forward with those hands. And now let's round the back, because we're going to drop the chin in and release the chin in towards the heart and breathe. So it's a fold. We're folding from Sukhasana, and I just want you to really pull that belly button in on those exhales. Just a beautiful massage for all the belly organs, your liver especially, giving it some love. Beautiful. And gently walking yourself back, nice and slow. Easy breezy. We're going to come up nice and tall. We're going to bring those knees out in front. Good. And come into a boat pose. Oh yeah. My regulars probably knew this was coming. Beauty of boat is it gives you a chance to get into a natural fiery breath with an inhale through the nose and an exhale through your mouth, using your belly, pulling the belly in on those exhales, looking, at a diagonal, keeping the head in line with the spine and the heart. Deep breath. And point and flex. And roll through the ankles. Getting some circulation down in your toes. And keeping those shoulder blades down and the neck long. Deep breath. So we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth 5 times together. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. All the air out. Good job. Let's cross those ankles and roll ourselves into a tabletop. Okay. You know me, I like to make some biscuits. Kind of move through the elbows. Trying to remind myself not to lock my elbow, especially when we're in these kind of push-up type poses, right? With the hands beneath the shoulders. Good. Opening up the fingers nice and wide, bringing those knees, fist width apart. Feet are relaxed. And let's take some cat and cow together. Inhale, looking up. Oh, yeah. Exhale, bringing your gaze to your belly button as you press the mat away, rounding the back. Inhale, just drawing a line with your chin up. Deep breath. Exhale, pulling that belly button in as you tuck the chin underneath you. Think about your spine kind of dipping down in cow. Inhale. And then exhale, the spine is reaching to the sky. In cat. And of course, we take that tailbone to the sky. Deep in cow. And exhale, draw it underneath you, pointing that tailbone to the floor. In your cat. And coming to a beautiful, stable tabletop with the belly slightly pulled in. You've got those muscles working with you there, keeping the spine nice and flat. Well done. We're going to curl the toes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. We're going to press into our first down dog of the morning. Oh boy. Giving those toes a wiggle as you press the mat away, lifting your sit bones up to where the wall and ceiling meet. Let's shake the head. Yes, no. Maybe so. Dingle dangling that crown of the head over the floor. Breathe, guys. Can you wiggle your toes? It's okay if your heels aren't touching the floor. You can still give your toes a little wiggle, pulling those kneecaps up and in, softening those elbows as you press the mat away. Breathe. Oh yeah, you can walk your dog here if you want to, or just wag your tail. Good, easy does it. Easy does it, guys. Deep breath. Beautiful. Let's pull that right foot up off the floor for a three-legged dog. Yep, hips are square to the floor. Breathe. Keep the neck relaxed. Sometimes that head wants to get looking at the floor. You really want to keep looking at your knee. And let's bend that right knee. We're going to pull that right leg into the chest as we come into a push-up pose. And if you have to grab your foot and wiggle it between the hands, that's okay. We're in a lunge. And we're going to walk ourselves up nice and slow in our lunge. Easy does it. Yes, crescent lunge. Ooh, yeah. We're going to feel that in that left hip with that extended leg behind you. Breathe. Pulling that knee up into the leg. You can bring the arms overhead if you're feeling feisty. Good. Inhale, looking up. Exhale. I want you to take a bow. We're going to keep the left hand on the floor, and I want you to open up the right hand. So it's almost like you're taking a triangle type pose. You can take a bind here if you want to. And breathe. This is a twist. Breathe. You're feeling extra twisty? Try to bring your left hand to the outside of the right foot. Oh boy. Shoulder blades down, neck long, chest open. Inhale. Exhale, release your bind and bring those hands back to the floor together. And we're going to press back into downward facing dog. Oh yeah. Breathe. Let the blood flow back into that right leg. Good. Taking this little break here. Wonderful. Let's lift the left leg up. Oh, three-legged dog on this side, pulling in your belly to protect your spine. The donkey work here is in that left glute. Breathe. Once again, check and make sure that your neck hasn't gotten all tight and locky. We're looking at the knees. You breathe, pressing the mat away. Good. And let's bend that left knee, pull it into the chest as we release into a push-up. Bringing that left hand between your, left foot between your hands. Coming to the ball of the right foot. That leg is extended out behind you, and then we're going to walk our way up. Oh, yeah. Into our lunge on this side. What information is your body giving you? Breathe into where you feel the intensity. Taking the arms overhead if you're feeling feisty. If not, just stay here with the hands on your knee for support. See if you can straighten that back right leg this time. Good, deep breath, looking up. Don't hold your breath here. I know you kind of want to, I do. And we're gonna come back down to a bow, hands on the floor, and we're gonna peel the left hand up for a twist. Good. Breathe. Taking that bind if you want to by bending that flying arm. Placing the back of the hand into the small of your back. Breathe. Accentuating the twist by bringing that right hand to the outside of the left foot. That may not be where you are today. That's okay. It's going to challenge your balance a little bit here. Breathe into the twist. Remember, it's all about twist today. Good. Release your bind if you took it. And coming back to your push-up. Let's bring the feet back to meet and back to downward facing dog. Good job. Breathe. Folds and twists. Rest and digest. Wiggling the toes. Let's look forward. We're going to bend those knees. Inhale. Exhale, hopper step your feet up towards your hands. At least a fist width apart, coming up halfway. Inhale, long neck, pull the belly. Exhale, fold. Good deal. Soften your knees. And let's hold on to our elbows. We're going to come up once again, halfway into that little number 7 shape. Long neck. Exhale, let the hands and the elbows kind of weight you down. It's leading the parade down, 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 down. And you're going to look at your knees and breathe. If you're experiencing an uncomfortable tightness in your calves or even your hamstrings, you can bend your knees slightly and release your lower back. As you get more comfortable and acquainted and you breathe, you'll be able to straighten your knees a little more so that the crown of the head is just dangling over the floor. Becoming aware of your elbows in your hands. And just let's draw little pendulum circles. Little pendulum circles, just moving and kind of dangling in a circle. Feel that gentle stretch through the teres minor and all those little thick muscles around the shoulder blades. Breathe. Deep belly breath. Doing your circle in the opposite direction if you can, if you haven't already. Good. Giving your toes a little wiggle. Let's release the elbows. Hands to the feet, to the floor, to the shins. Breathe. Looking at your knees. One more deep breath here, guys. Inhale. Let's do an ujjayi. Beautiful. Inhaling halfway up. And exhaling, we're going to sit the sit bones down into a chair pose, lifting your toes, tucking your tailbone, using your Uddiyana Bandha, that lowest belly muscle. You can configure your hands overhead if you're feeling fierce, or just keep them on your knees if that feels a little more secure, more stable. It's totally up to you, but you're going to breathe into this little squat here. See if you can lift those toes and give them a wiggle, wiggle. Opening the collarbones by drawing the shoulder blades down. Breathe. Good. Let's bring the arms overhead if they're not already there. Exhale. We're going to pull our beautiful prayer pose hands into the heart. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to turn to the to the left side with your right elbow and hook it to the outside of the left knee for a twist. Oh boy. Breathe. Chair twist. It was going to happen today, guys. I'm sorry. The post-Thanksgiving would not be the same without it. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, twist, bringing the hands to the heart space as you look up if your neck approves. Good. We're going to straighten the knees, release the arms, and waterfall down into forward fold. Good job. Deep breath. That's an intense little twist. There's wonders for that lower back. Beautiful, guys. We're going to come up halfway. Inhale. Exhale. Sit back into chair, lifting the arms overhead. Breathe. And now bringing the hands in firmly into the heart space. I think we know what's about to happen. We're going to turn towards our right with that left elbow hooked to the outside of the knee. Feel free to open up into a hug if that feels better for you. But I like to keep my hands together because it helps me bring myself, bringing the prayer into the heart is a really great way to intensify the twist. Pulling that belly button in on the exhales. Looking up if your neck wants to. Looking straight ahead or down if that's better. Keep breathing either way. Good. One more deep Ujjayi breath. Well done. Release the bind. Release, straighten the legs, and raggedy and your way down to your forward fold. Good job. Breathe. You can hold on to your ankles, your toes, your elbows, whatever works. We're going to stay in this fold for just a couple more deep breaths. Feel your back expand with the inhale. And exhale. The belly pulls in. And the spine just naturally gets a little longer on those exhales. Good deal. We're going to come up halfway. Inhale. And exhale. Let's send the right leg back. Foot comes in full contact with the floor for our warrior one. Nice and slow. Easy does it. All right, so we're in our warrior one. With the left knee bent in front. Feeling that gentle stretch through that right hip. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to open into warrior two. Opening up those knees away from each other. Breathe. Good. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Let's straighten that front knee. And now we actually are going to take a triangle, a real one, and reaching out and tipping into triangle pose. So triangle in and of itself is a bit of a twist because you're opening up that chest, bringing that spine over that front leg. It's a little bit of an opening twist. Taking the bind if that feels good for your shoulder. Of course, you can float the hand, grab onto a block if you need to, and we straighten the knees without locking them up. Good. Release the bind, and we're going to revolve our triangle today. So this is the serious twist. So we're going to bring the right hand to the floor, either on the outside of the foot on a block, on top of that left foot, or on the other side. That left arm is up. You can take a bind here if you want to. And so you might notice that the knees start to soften into a bend. Your work is to straighten them without locking them and without hyperextension. So there's a lot happening in the leg here that you don't really notice the twist, but it's happening. Shoulder blades are down, looking up if it's comfortable. Breathe. Controlling that smooth breath is the work here, guys. Good. Deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let's release that left arm if you took the bind. And we're going to switch it back to triangle. Regular old triangle. Good. We're going to soften that front knee and pop that left elbow onto the left knee and stretch for extended side angle. Deep breath. And let's open up that arm. Look out for your lamps. Check and make sure that you're not jutting out way in front of that ankle, that your knee is stacked on top or slightly behind. Good. And coming back into your extended side angle pose. All right, guys, so from here, we're going to take another twist. We're going to drop that left hand to the floor and revolve. Now we've got the knee nice and bent. It's a little like the twist we did a minute ago, but the whole of the back foot is on the floor. You have a little more stability here. It's a little less challenging to your balance, but that doesn't mean it's not challenging. Breathe. Good. Inhale. And gently coming back into extended side angle with the elbow on the knee. Good job. Inhale and exhale. We're going to cartwheel our arms back up for warrior two. Inhale. Exhale. Rotate the hips and that back foot for warrior one. Deep breath in. And let's take a little vinyasa in between, coming down into your push-up. Inhale. Exhale, lowering yourself down. Elbows skin your ribs. Keep them in. And rolling into a cobra pose or up dog. Opening that heart. Curl the toes. Exhale for your downward facing dog. Oh. And breathe. Once again, feel free to walk your dog or wag your tail or just stay and breathe and kind of let the blood flow. Notice what feels more awake on that right side. Just honoring what the body is doing and telling you and having that communication. Well done. Let's look forward. Crouch, inhale. Exhale, hopper step, feet towards the top of your mat. Come up halfway, inhale. And exhale, we're going to send that left leg back. Full contact with the mat, with the foot. And then we're going to reach up into our warrior on this side. All right. So feeling your warrior. Usually for me, at least, it's that front hip. You might be feeling it somewhere else. Breathe into wherever you're feeling that intensity happening, where the stretch is most pronounced. Notice the places that feel a little quieter. Good. Just scanning the body. Let's rotate on our axis and drop into warrior two. Ooh. Remembering that all the propulsion forward in warrior two is about the legs, not the spine. Spine stays nice and straight. All that momentum is belly buttoning down. Can you see your right big toe? Breathe, looking over the right fingers. Beautiful. I love warrior two. Good. Deep breath in. And on your exhale, we're going to straighten that front knee. That right knee, deep breath in. And exhale, reach forward over that front leg as far as you can go and dip into your triangle pose. Oh, yes. So the twistiness that is in triangle, inherent in triangle, oftentimes gets a little overshadowed by the hip and the leg, and that stuff kind of steps forward more pronounced in most people. But don't forget, you are twisting. Feel what your belly is what's happening in the belly area. Looking up if that's comfortable in your neck, straight ahead or down if that's better. Good. We're going to soften that front knee, release the bind if you took it, and we're going to revolve the triangle. And yes, you have to make that sound. You do not. Okay, so did your knees straighten? Did your knees bend? See if you can straighten them a little. Figure out where you want to put that front hand, that left hand on top of the foot, on a block. And then, of course, the majority of the work here is what's happening in that right knee. So straightening it out without hyperextension or overdoing it, that's going to be a big challenge for a lot of folks. Breathe. Lots and lots of space in your spine. Long crown of the head and the tailbone are being teased apart long. Looking up if it's comfortable. Good. One more deep belly breath in through your nose. Ujjayi, exhale. Wonderful. Release the bind if you took it. And we're going to whoop back to regular old triangle. Never thought you'd be so happy to just chill in triangle pose, right? Until you start revolving it. Let's bend that front knee and just pop that right elbow on top of the knee. And a slight tuck of the tailbone here, just to kind of straighten out, and then bring yourself into extended side angle pose. Breathe. And once again, we're looking for that long line from the ankle bone to the wrist bone here without crunching up the shoulder. Lots of healthy space between your ear and your bicep. And let's take some rolls through the shoulder here. Big helicopter stretch. Breathe. Oh, yeah. Oh, that feels good. And gently coming back into your side angle pose. Beautiful. Let's bring that hand overhead, and then we're just going to bring the right hand to the floor or to the foot, and we're going to revolve this bad boy. Oh, boy. So now we can keep that front knee bent, which is what it kind of wanted to do in triangle. Now we can indulge that front knee, its wishes. Let it bend, taking the bind if you want to, deepening the twist by bringing the pinky to the pinky, if you want to. Just keep breathing, guys, keeping that neck long. The belly is active in this deep breaths. Good. Release the bind if you took it. Inhale. Deep exhale, Ujjayi. And coming back. Just a regular old side angle. Inhale. Exhale. Press firmly through that front heel into your warrior pose, warrior two. Inhale and exhale back into your warrior one. Awesome job, guys. Good deal. Deep breath in and exhale. Let's take a vinyasa. Oh. All right. So I'll catch you in down dog. Let's stay here for just a moment. Pressing the entire hand, even the pads of the fingers, the base of the fingers, the thumbs and the pinkies. And let's see if you can straighten your knees. Let's walk the dog. Oh, yeah. All right, guys, we're going to drop the knees here and press into a child's pose. Kind of reset to our factory settings in child's pose. Letting the forehead just relax towards the floor. Let your jaw unhinge. Awesome. We're going to come up into our hands and knees and step back into a plank. Really strong, straight plank, drawing the shoulder blades down, pulling the belly in. Inhale and exhale. With those straight knees, we're going to release all the way to the floor, nice and slow. And we're gonna do a bow variation. Okay, so we're gonna bend the knees and point the toes to the sky. So in bow one, you wanna make sure that your knees aren't wicked open, that they're actually beneath your hips. And in bow one, you're just reaching back into a little bit of a back bend towards your ankles. You're not even touching. So for some of us, this is it. Thank you. It's enough for today. For others, we can go to bow two, where you bring your hands to the tops of your feet or to your ankles, or somewhere in between. And breathe. You're looking ahead. And you're breathing firmly against the floor with your belly. That's the key here. And then, of course, bow three, we start to that process of lifting the legs like you're trying to touch the ceiling with your big toes. You can rock on the high C's of your breath. Good. Whichever bow you're in, take one more deep, slow, loving breath. Use your belly. And relax yourself all the way back to bow one. Relaxing the feet back to the floor. Inhale. Hands come to either side of the chest. Strong bend in the elbows. Elbows close to the ribs. We're going to roll the shoulders back up for a cobra pose. Looking up, beautiful stretch for the front of your neck. And then exhale for a delightful child's pose, pressing the sit bones back. Let's open the knees a little bit. And relax. Pressing the elbows, forearms, and hands into the mat and drag the mat towards your knees. Another beautiful opening stretch for the shoulders and the arms. Slow, deep breaths. Let's come up into our tabletop, bringing those knees back together, crossing the ankles, and roll yourself to seated. Hey! We've been on a journey, guys. Let's open up the legs. Okay, so notice what your posture wants to do. I know my posture wants to do this. So what I want to do is sit up nice and tall, rolling the shoulders back and stacking the spine. And so you're on the little tippy tips of your pelvis. Your sit bones are moved. Moving the flesh, because you want that connection to the floor with your skeleton. So let's get a good flex in the foot. Scale of 1 to 10, you're at about a 5 as far as how intense this feels for you. So it might look a little different from mine. It might be wider than mine. Let's bring the hands to the floor. And once again, drawing the shoulder blades back and down, flexing the feet. We're going to walk into a beautiful fold with wide legs. Breathe. So you're going to keep your head in line with your spine. Your heart and your skull are kind of in the same line. And I just want you to breathe deeply using your belly. And on your next exhale, see if you can walk in a little deeper. Now, for some of us, no problem. We can bring the elbows down with a flat back, no sweat. That may not be you. If your back wants to round, don't go down so far. We're going to keep a nice flat spine for a minute, okay? So breathe. It's definitely when you want to have good communication between your muscles and your brain. And then walk in a little deeper if you can. Last one with a flat spine. If you can dig those heels in as you flex your feet, and then finally we come in as far as we can go. Let the back round just a little bit, kind of creating a question mark shape with your spine. As you drop your chin in and breathe. Breathe into all of the muscles in the inner part of your leg that are stretching. And if they're stretching and there's pain, back up a little bit. Let your belly relax on the inhale. Pull it in on the exhale. Long neck. Inhale deeply and exhale very gently. Start your ascent back up nice and tall. We're going to bring the legs together in front. I want you to bend your right knee, pull it in, pull it into the chest. We're going to cross the right leg over the left. Once again, pull it in. See if you can have full connection with the foot to the floor, not just the pinky toe side of the foot, the full deal. And that might be that the foot has to be a little further away. That's okay. I just want that full, all four corners of the foot to be touching the floor. Flexing the left leg. I want you to reach your left arm out like you're gonna shake hands, and then hug that right knee and take your twist sitting up tall. So this is as much for your hip as it is for your belly. Getting a nice stretch. So you're bringing your chest to the outside of the right knee. Feel free to bring your right hand to the floor, sitting up tall. Breathe. Now for some of us, this is enough. Thank you. Good. Otherwise, see if you can bring your left elbow to the outside of the right knee. We're getting a little pretzel-y now. Sitting up tall. Once again, addressing that extended leg foot, nice and flexed. Looking over your shoulder, breathe. See if you can open up the chest by bringing that elbow back, leverage against the leg. Now focus on your belly. Focus on that twist, that deep, deep breath. Good. One more. Excellent. Gently release, slow. Take it slow. Good job. Unwind and switch sides. So now we've got the left knee bent. Pull it in, give it a hug. Sit up nice and tall. Your sit bones have moved again, right? There they are. And then bring that foot to the outside. This is all part of the I Gotta Pee series. We're gonna reach that right hand. Hey, how do you do? Psych. And hold on to the knee. And our first order of business is just really getting into that hip stretch. Pulling that knee into the chest, sitting up tall. Long neck. Flexing that right foot. And then moving into our twist, nice and slow. You never want to rush these twists, guys. You can do all kinds of mischief to the body if you're not thoughtful, careful, making sure that entire foot is touching the floor. Then we move in. Hand can come behind for support. I definitely have students that need a little block back here because their arms aren't really long. That's okay. And then finally, if you've got the tiger in the tank, into the full twist of it all, put that elbow to the outside of the knee. Try not to lean back into the pose, keeping really tall and straight. And opening up, really using that elbow against the knee. Deep belly breaths. One more. Oh yeah. And gently, slowly unwind and release the legs. Let's give them a little shake out. Just a shake. We're gonna bend the knees. Find your high knee in the center of your mat and gently roll back. Slow, slow, slow. Slow as you can go. All the way to your back. Take it slow, take it easy. We're gonna do a little bridge pose just to counteract. We do a lot of folds. So let's just take a little bridge pose, pressing those feet into the floor and lifting your sit bones and kind of squeeze your glutes and lift the hips all the way to the shoulder blades, looking up at the ceiling. Breathe. Big toe side of the foot pressed in firmly. Good. And let's release the spine, slowly rolling it out from the top to the bottom. Nice and slow until finally the sacrum touches and then the tailbone releases down. Let's cross that right knee over the left. Inhale. And exhale, drop those knees over to the left side. For my money, the best twist, right? The supine twist. Using that left hand on the knee, opening the right arm, look away from the knees. Breathe. Easy does it, guys. Letting your eyes close. Notice where you feel your stretch today. Through the hips, perhaps the belly, the chest. Feeling your joints getting heavy. As it's time to fully relax and let go. And just let the blood flow. Good. Pressing that left elbow into the mat, bringing those hips back to center. Unwind. Rewind. Left knee over the right. Inhale. Exhale. Drop them over to the right side. Right hand comes to greet them and welcome them down to the floor. And releasing that left arm away from the body. Relax the hand. Look at the fingers. Close your eyes and breathe. Really paying special attention, bringing your awareness to the belly. Those deep breaths, just massaging through the organs, kind of delivering the promise of practice today, right? Fully relaxing through your entire nervous system. Letting your body, just enhancing its detox pathways. It already has. We're just kind of helping things along with massage and with fresh oxygen. Good. Let's release that right elbow. Oh, press it into the floor and take Shavasana time. Yay! You can step those legs out. Your lower back hates that. You can bend the knees. Kind of nestling down for Shavasana. Opening up the heart, opening up the palms. Taking a soft, deep breath. Full belly, fill your lungs, fill your chest. And with every exhalation, you're releasing a part of the body to just let float. Inhale. Exhale, release the feet and the ankles. Inhale. Relax and release the calves, the shins, and the knees. Inhale. Exhale, release the thighs. Inhale. Exhale, release the glutes and your hips. Inhale. Exhale, release your lower back, your belly. Inhale. Exhale, release the entire back, belly, and chest. Inhale. Exhale, release the space around your heart, shoulder blades, the collarbones, and down the arms. Inhale. Exhale. Release the neck, the jaw, the face. Inhale. Exhale. Release the scalp and the ears. Just feeling yourself afloat, warm and safe, and just riding the waves of breath as you let go. Very gently coming back into your body with your breath, leading the way. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Giving your fingers and toes a little wiggle. Releasing anything you want to leave behind you today. And letting it just kind of bleed out through your fingers. Bending your knees and stretching the arms overhead. Take a deep breath in as you get that beautiful S curve into the spine. Big belly breath. And gently roll to your favorite side, using your bicep as a pillow. And it's only appropriate that today we think of 3 things that we're grateful for. Really see them in your mind's eye. Breathe them in. Whenever you're ready, gently bring yourself up slowly, very slowly, using your hands to a comfortable seated position. Does not have to be the same one you started practicing. Do something different, mix it up. We're going to close practice with 3 melting breaths. And moving out of the holidays and into our weekend. Bringing the arms up overhead, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, pulling in everything you need. Exhaling and leaving out anything you don't. Beautiful, bringing the hands together in front of the heart. Let's gently bow to each other and to each other's practice. The divine in me truly honors the divine in each of you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please drink a lot of water, maybe even more than normal. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.